knowing just neutral Spanish or the regular Spanish that you learned in Mexico, Spain, at any Spanish school, at your school when you were a child, is not usual here in Argentina. Why? For the simple reason that Argentinian Spanish is more like a dialect rather than just the normal Spanish, the neutral Spanish. So Argentinian Spanish is far away from the regular Spanish. So in this video, I'm gonna teach you all the features, all the things that Argentinian Spanish has that makes it so unique compared to Spanish of the other countries. So I would like to start showing you the main points and the main features that Argentinian Spanish has and the things that you should learn. First of all, in this video, understand. So in first place, Argentinian Spanish has four main features, four main characteristics. The first is the vocabulary. In Argentina, we have a totally new vocabulary with totally new words, and one of the most important things is that our jerga or our slang is in our daily conversation. We use it all the time, and even in informal and formal context. It doesn't matter really whether you are in an interview, it doesn't matter really if you're having a business speech or something like that. Why? For the simple reason that this is something cultural. We are mostly casual people, we're mostly informal people, and we carry that everywhere. And we got something new that I haven't mentioned in my channel, I haven't mentioned in my videos, that is called the besre, or the revés. Basically, this refers to backward words. When we say words backward, and it is kind of part of that slang, but we use it all the time in all type of daily conversation, every day, everywhere. So we think here that we say all the time makes all conversation harder, makes Argentinian Spanish in general harder. So another important things that we have here is the pronunciation. We pronounce words totally different compared to other countries in Latin America. We don't say, for example, yo, we say yo. We don't say llaves, we say llaves. Then we got the grammar. We have things in Argentinian Spanish. Some grammatical topics we don't use it in our Argentinian Spanish. Some other grammatical topics we change them, we replace it for something else. We got different conjugations. We do not use the same conjugation. We do not use tú, for example, we use vos. So, for example, we will not say tú dices, which means you say. We are going to say vos decís. Or, for example, when you say someone leave this place, leave, please, leave, you would say with tú, you would say vete, vete, and in Argentine Spanish we would say andate, a completely different word. So this is part of our grammar, and as I just told you, it is totally different in Argentina. Then we got the reductions, one of the hardest parts of all in Argentinian Spanish. This is the thing that makes Argentinian Spanish so hard to understand. And in this video, I will teach you a short introduction of all of these topics, and I'm going to show you exactly why Argentinian Spanish is so hard and why you have to learn Argentinian Spanish if you would like to come here to Argentina, if you would like to talk with people. So if you are ready, señor, señora, vamos a empezar. Okay, so as you can see here, we got four different parts, let's say four different sections, areas. The first is the area, the easiest area, let's say, is the pronunciation in Argentinian Spanish. So in Argentinian Spanish, we had three or two key letters that we pronounce differently. This is the letter Y plus the letter L. These two letters, we pronounce them plus a vowel. Let me show you. Plus a vowel, vowel, vowel. Plus a vowel sound, we pronounce it as sh sound. So, for example, if we say yo tengo llaves amarillas, yo tengo llaves amarillas, this means I have yellow keys. We would say, in neutral Spanish, we would say yo tengo llaves amarillas. Then in Argentine Spanish, the Argentine we speak, it would be yo tengo llaves amarillas. Yo tengo llaves, acá, yo tengo llaves amarillas. We pronounce it as sh, as in she. Another important thing that is not that important to know, but if you would like to have a better Argentinian accent, you could follow these rules. That is, whenever we have this regular type of verb, for example, trabajar, which is an R verb, or for example, comer, which is an er verb, or for example, vivir, which is our ear, which is ear verb, ear ending verb, we are going to pronounce the last vowel here, ar, ir, with a long vowel sound. So for example, in Argentine Spanish, we say trabajar, comer, vivir. And then in neutral Spanish, you would say trabajar, comer, vivir. In Argentine Spanish, trabajar, comer, vivir. This is the part of the Argentinian accent that we have, that I have many videos talking about this. So if you would like to learn this, if you would like to have an Argentinian accent, better Argentinian accent, you can watch all my videos here in Spanish with Nico. Then on the other side, we got the vocabulary section, which is, this is one of the hardest part of all, or this is one of the most important part of all. And when you can see or realize that Argentinian Spanish changes so much. So on the other side, which is the vocabulary, we got three things, three categories that are very important to know, because here in Argentina, we have three different types of vocabulary that we use at the same time. Okay, so one is their normal vocabulary, let's say kind of normal, which is basically all the words that exist in Spanish that we use it normally as an everyday words. But then we got words that are normal for us, but because we call something in a different way. It is not part of our slang, it is not part of the besre, it is just the way we call it. As in English, you would say, for example, the lift and the elevator. If I'm correct, elevator is in the United States and lift is in the UK. So in Argentine Spanish, it's pretty much the same. We would say, for example, colectivo, colectivo, we call it the bus. And in neutral Spanish, you would say autobús or bus, but here in Argentina, we don't call it that. Okay, so this is part of our normal way to speak, which is colectivo. Then another word would be, for example, plata. Plata refers to money. We don't say dinero, we say plata. Okay, so if you are in Argentina right now and you're talking to people and you didn't know that in Argentina we don't say colectivo, you didn't know that in Argentina we don't say dinero or bus, you could have problems, because these are the two most important words of all for a traveler, because you have to have money, you have to know how to take a taxi, how to take a bus, how to take the train and stuff like that. Another one would be, for example, the metro. We don't say metro, we say subte. Still, this is part of our normal words in Argentinian Spanish. Then we got the slang, which is another way that is totally different to call exactly the same three or two things that we have here, and almost for all words that we have in Argentinian Spanish. So for example, in the case of colectivo, we would say in our slang, bondi. In the case of plata, we would say guita, guita, which means money, but in an informal way or in slang. For subte, we don't have a word for it in our slang, but still, this is something really important to know, because in our culture, we normally talk in an informal way, in a very informal way. It doesn't matter if it is a formal context, it doesn't matter if it is informal context, we will mostly talk in a casual way. We have a stereotype here that we are people that is like easygoing, not shy at all, people that likes to make jokes, people that likes the humor a lot, that are very sarcastic people. So that's the stereotype, and I think that is pretty much real and pretty much correct to say that, because the average Argentinian has exactly those features that I just told you. So I just told you, we use slang a lot, we use slang most of the time, even in formal and informal context. So for example, I can tell you some more. We can say, for example, trabajar. Trabajar is the same. We say trabajar, which means to work. And in our slang, it would be to laburar, laburar. Okay? So for learning slang, there are not many videos on the internet to learn about Argentinian Spanish. But I've just started a playlist, a series of videos where I teach all the Argentinian phrases, where I teach all the Argentinian slang and everything that you need to know. Just like this video, but with many, many more that I have in short videos and also long videos format. So you can see all of those just clicking on my channel here, Spanish with Nico, and you will see all of this video. So now let's continue with the besre. The besre, as I just told you at the beginning of this video, it refers to backward words. This is backward words. For example, café. Café, café is the normal way to say it. Then we got feca. In Argentinian Spanish, we say feca. Now, your question may be, do you guys in Argentina use this a lot? Or is it informal? Is it formal? Well, for this, it is pretty much as a slang. Okay, we can say that it's formal and informal at the same time. So still, we would use it a lot in all contexts. We use it talking casually. And then if you are here in Argentina talking with friends, talking with a girl, talking with someone, even in business conversation, that's the craziest part of all, you will still hear bondi, guita, laburar, feca. What else? For example, calor, we say lorca, calor. Calor means heat, and we say lorca, lorca. Remember we say, for example, tengo calor. We say I have heat, which means I'm hot, right? I'm hot because today is a super sunny day. So when you say I'm hot, you would say tengo calor. and then you will say tengo Lorca. Okay, in our slang, tengo Lorca. Or another word, for example, mujer. Mujer will be germo. Mujer means woman, and we'll say germo here in Argentina. We'll say germo, mi mujer, which means my girlfriend, my wife, mi mujer. That's another important thing to know. When we say my woman, it refers to my wife, my girlfriend. And that is also a cultural aspect that we use a lot. So you have to learn it too. Or for example, un sope. That comes from peso, the Argentinian currency. Sope, no tengo un peso. That's a phrase that means I don't have money at all. Would be in English like I don't even have a dollar or something like that. Or I don't even have a pen. It would be the same. No tengo un sope, no tengo un peso. Sope would be like the kind of slang way or the informal way. We got three different type of vocabulary within this category, which is vocabulary. So this is something super important that you have to learn. And the only way to do that, if you come here to Argentina, you start going outside, you start talking to people, you start having your meetings, you start your new life here in Argentina, and just learning with mistakes, learning with asking people every day, experiencing real life. Now, what's the problem with this? Is that all of these words, all of these three different types of vocabulary within the vocabulary section, there are so many that it is really hard to learn them all in real life context, because you have to do things quickly, you have to do something important, and you cannot be wasting your time learning something because you didn't know it. So that's why it is so important that before you come here, you start learning Spanish, learning Argentinian Spanish. As I just told you, you cannot learn the regular Spanish if you come here to Argentina. This is really different to the normal Spanish you can learn everywhere. Okay, so focus on this. If you want to be here, you have to take this seriously, because you will be here for a long time. Or think this for your business. If you're the boss of your business, you have to work here, you have to dominate, you have to manage and lead your company into a great success here in Argentina. So now let's continue with this, that I can make a super long video about this because there are too many things about this topic and this video will be super long. So now I'd like to continue with the grammar part. So for the grammar, we got many different things about this. One of this is the conjugations, which is one of the most important ones. So here we got the conjugations, conjugaciones. We conjugate all of these new words with, for example, you. When you say you eat, you go, you travel, etc., you will start conjugate all of this word with the new pronoun that is vos. Vos is the Argentinian tú. In Argentina, at least in Buenos Aires, some parts of Argentina, we don't say tú, we say vos. So for vos, for example, in present tense, we will say, for example, decís. Okay, vos decís. This means you say. Then tú dices. Tú dices. So for example, here, tú dices, vos decís. We are not going to say the first, we will say the second, because this is coming from vos. Tú dices, vos decís. Trabajas, tú trabajas, and then vos trabajas with the, let's say, strong vowel here at the end, or the long vowel here at the end, vos trabajas. And then the first is tú trabajas. Now, this is just with present tense and just with two examples, but this happens with all words in Argentinian Spanish. This happens with every single verb that we have in Spanish and all the different tenses that we got in Spanish too. So as you know, Spanish has like 20 different tenses that you have to learn. So if you learn the regular Spanish, the neutral Spanish, you will learn 20 different tenses, 20 different type of conjugations for every single verb. And all of those conjugations in Argentinian Spanish, they are all incorrect and they are all not used. So you have to focus on Argentinian Spanish if you will live here. And that's why it is so important to focus specifically on this thing. So for example, I can tell you some more that makes it much clearer. What I'm going to teach you right now, this is called imperative, imperativo. That is basically when we make orders. I can make a long video about this, but we will see this just a little bit, okay? Imperativo for orders. When we say someone, Nico, go there. You go there. You buy this. Let's move. Let's start. Let's go. Let's buy something new. Let's do it. That's another for you, but you can also say orders to people. You can also command to people. And in English, it is a bit hard to see it, but in Spanish, we got a totally different tense. And we got totally different conjugations. And for example, for the verb go, when we say Nico or someone, go to the store and buy something. Go to the store. So you would say in neutral Spanish, ve a la tienda. Then in Argentine Spanish, we are not gonna say that, not at all. We would say vos anda. This means you go. Vos anda a la tienda. Go to the store. Anda a la tienda. Then this makes everything much clearer now, and that's what I want to show you, because if you're here in Argentina and you start saying ve a la tienda, or you're starting talking with someone or your girlfriend, boyfriend, your friend, a business conversation, whatever, anywhere, you will not understand people when they tell you anda. You will start wasting time with your translator. You can miss opportunities here in Argentina. Everything will be much slower for the simple reason that you did not learn this, for the simple reason you did not take my advice. So now, I will continue now with the last part, which is the reductions. This is one of the hardest part of all in Argentinian Spanish, and this is one of the longest part of all, because depending on the province or the state of Argentina, people pronounce words differently, and they have different type of reductions. But if, for example, if you're Buenos Aires, we mostly have the same type of reductions, although all around Buenos Aires. So for example, I have here a whole sentence, a whole examples, but I will show you some common reductions here in Buenos Aires that we use a lot. So for example, we would say this, the normal way would say, yo estoy re feliz con todos ustedes, mis estudiantes. ¿Y vos? ¿Qué pensás? So this means I'm very happy with you all, my students. And you, what do you think? So now let's see all the reductions we got here, all the reductions we can make here. So a reduction is the short way of saying words, okay? So for example, or the short way to make a sentence. So we will not say, for example, yo. I guess you already know that one. So you could say estoy. Now, when we say estoy, we don't say it like that. If we make a reduction, we'd say toy, toy, okay? We skip the S and we just say toy. Estoy re feliz, estoy re feliz. Some people would say that we can skip the zeta, okay? So let's say that we skip it. I will show you here because it is not necessary. Not all people in Buenos Aires skip this zeta, but some people do it. So you would say estoy re feliz o estoy re feliz con todos. Now here you can skip the S. You would say con todo. Estoy re feliz con todo. Ustedes. Or you can just, or the other way to skip this sentence, or the other way to make a reduction, we have many as you know, would be to, 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 to. Estoy re feliz con todos ustedes. Estoy re feliz con todos ustedes. Or you could just say, estoy re feliz con todo. You skip just the S. Ustedes. Here, you can skip the S here. Ustedes. When we are talking really fast, really quickly, you can say ustedes. You skip the first S, or you can skip both, the first and the second S. And then mis estudiantes. Here, we join these two words, Mrs. We say Mrs., like the famous economist, yeah. Mrs. So here you would join these two words, so we say mis estudiantes, mis estudiantes. So you could just say mis estudiantes, mis estudiantes, mis estudiantes. Like you're eliminating or you're skipping the S and you're just joining two S. So you would say mis estudiantes, okay? And then you can also skip the S again at the end of estudiantes. And now the last part will be y vos. ¿Qué pensás? And you, what do you think? So now with this part, you would say y vos, you skip the last S of vos, and then say y vos qué pensás? ¿Qué pensás? You also skip the S here at the end. Now that you can see all of this, how hard the Argentinian Spanish is, how many different things that Argentinian Spanish has, I'd like to tell you that you have to focus right now on learning Argentinian Spanish, because otherwise it will be a mess for you. It will be really hard. You will be here in Buenos Aires for a long time, for a long period of time, for work, for your business, for just casual trips to Argentina or for your family, someone you love. And I genuinely think that if you focus on these four things, you will have an amazing Argentinian Spanish. You will understand everyone. You could start your own life. You will be able to start your own life here in Argentina just because you knew how to focus on all of this stuff, just because you knew how to make sure on learning the important things. So as you are a beginner, I'd like to invite you to my Telegram group in which you will learn all of these things. I'm always sharing there all the information about Argentina. I always share tips about Argentinian Spanish. You can ask me all the questions that you want. You can practice your Spanish with me, with the members of the group, and you will be keep updated on what's going on here in Argentina and the news too. So if you would like to join to my Telegram group, you will find it in the description. It is called Argentina Travelers. And also I would like to tell you that this is the last 2 days that I have for my group lessons. So if you would like to start learning all of this in a professional way, fast and speaking with me and with all my students, you can start doing that right now. So what are you waiting for? Come on, come here to Argentina and start working on all of these things. I hope you have liked this video. Please subscribe, tell me what you think of this. Y bueno, es todo, así que nos vemos, che. Chao, chao. Thanks for watching this video. If you are a beginner and you want to learn Spanish, my book, Mini Stories to Learn Spanish Beginner's Guide, is available on Amazon. If you are looking to learn Spanish to visit Argentina with my program, you can do it. All the details are in the description. Thanks for watching.